welcome back to my channel. Well, it is that time of the day. Well, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Please hit that like button for this video, and please hit that notification button so that you can be part of the notification squad. Well, today I am talking about something that is very close to my heart. I am talking about self-love. Yes, self-love, because it is so close to me, because I believe that that is the highest form of love that anyone can express to themselves. Well, I have written down 5 things here on this notebook. 5 things because I believe that self-love is a journey more than it is anything. So here are 5 points of how I've walked my self-love journey. Point number 1. It is self-consciousness or self-awareness. There is nothing as important as being aware of yourself as a person. It is very important for you to be aware of who you are, of where you stand, of your values, your principles, and just be aware of yourself as a whole. Self-awareness, it speaks a lot on strengths, on weaknesses. It speaks a lot on what kind of person are you, what kind of energy do you give out to the world and to yourself. So it is very important to be aware of who you are, because in that way you'll be able to fix what you don't like about yourself, to enhance all the things that you like about yourself. And being self-aware, the most beautiful thing about it is that you actually get to find out things about yourself that you did not know. It's so amazing. It is important to understand that as a person you have some negative aspects to you that will liberate you. I have weaknesses, and you should find ways to deal with your weaknesses as a person, because at the end of the day, that's part of being aware of who you are. As much as it's very good to be optimistic and focus on the positive parts, but if you let the negative parts of yourself sleep, like if you don't nurture the negative parts of yourself, you'll be a problem to yourself and to the people that are close to you, or to other people. You're just gonna be a problem ngoba when you decided no, even if I do have these negative aspects to me, do you know those things which I feel so mean? You know, for example, this is an example ne uguti straight talkers. You know, sometimes we say people are straight talkers, but they actually savage. Hi, yo, and we like, hi, velu straight talker, vele isn't a velu show the raising a corner. But sometimes how you say things to other people, the language, the manner of approach, it's so savage, and you don't understand Uguti. You probably hurting someone's feelings in the process. You probably just deemed someone's confidence unworthy. So there's so many aspects into being self-aware. One thing that is totally negative about me is that I am a peacekeeper instead of a peacemaker. Mina, I'd rather be hurt by other people so that there can be peace. Like, let's say me and this is an example. let's say for instance, my friends and I, we have a squabble, right? And I know that I'm right. But because for the sake of peace, ngizotula, and then they will have their way, whilst I know ukuthi no man. Kahle mina lento le angithandi, but I will just let it go so that there can be peace. And that is hurtful to me more than it is to anyone else. And then I project my hurt to other people. You see, so if I was not aware of myself, I was not gonna know that I am a peacekeeper instead of a peacemaker. And I was not gonna even make the means to work on that, because I'm working on that. I've seen on how I handle certain situations. Ukuthi, I've actually improved in being a peacekeeper. I'm actually going and diverting into being a peacemaker because I'm a peaceful person. You see, that's the positive thing, is that I'm a peaceful person. That's the positive parts, that I am a peaceful person. But then the negative is that I'm a peacekeeper. Sometimes peace is not necessary. Sometimes you have to fight. And not even fight, you just have to solve things. But I mean, the process of solving things and ukuthi yo lona wrong, lona kwenzakalani. No, I hated that process before. But now I'm like, no, vele isn't mele solve. If I don't like something, I should say it. And lento ukuthi I want to keep peace, it should end. It should really, really end. Okay, so it's very important to be aware of yourself as a person. You just need to know ukuthi mina ngumuntu onjani. What kind of person are you? What kind of things do you like? What don't you like about yourself? And in that way, you will start your journey in such a strong foundation. And then the second thing, it's unlearning. Like I said with the peacekeeper thing, I'm unlearning it. I'm unlearning ukuthi actually Lebohang, you shouldn't be a peacekeeper. It's not your job that it's not your job to nurse people's feelings whilst when yours are being hurt in the process. So as now I'm a peacemaker, like slowly but surely, of course, because it's something that I'm intentionally working on unlearning. But you know, it's okay. Sometimes things, not even sometimes, things need to be solved if you don't like them. You need to ask if you don't like something. You need to speak out if you don't like something. Lento ukuthi no ngizothula ukuthi kungabi nendaba eziningi, no. It's not gonna work out for you, because then your feelings will be hurt. So unlearning those negative parts about you, unlearning your toxic traits. For example, I was a homophobe back in primary. I didn't understand ukuthi no. Yazi bengizihlupha ngendaba engasiyo ezami. Number 1. Ne? Bengizihlupha ngendaba engasiyo ezami. No, laba bona bathi yeah, intabane lezi, no. I was that kind of person. You know? And then when I got to high school, I was in an all girls high school, grade 8 and grade 9. I actually saw a different side of the gay community. And I was like to myself, but these are people like us. They're living their lives just like I am living mine. And I started learning that about myself. Ukuthi ungazixaki ngezinto ezingakufuni. You know? So those are just the toxic traits that I've unlearned. And another toxic trait that I've unlearned, and I wasn't aware I had it until I started the self-love journey and I started being self-aware. I wasn't aware I had it, is that I sometimes project my hurt to other people. I'm so guilty of this. And sometimes you think when no, you're venting, but you're not. You're just projecting your hurt to other people. You know, I didn't like it. I was that type of person. I didn't like it. I was like, no. I kind of wanted the world to revolve around me. But I've unlearned it, and I've seen everything is about me. No, people have their own lives that they're living. They also have their own problems and different journeys that they're taking each and every day, just like I am doing. So important to unlearn everything that is toxic about you, and to unlearn cultures that you were taught that are actually torturing you. Now you are aware of yourself, and you are unlearning all the toxic things that you just don't like about yourself, and all the toxic things that you have been doing that you want to change. Number 3, it is acknowledging. You need to acknowledge that I have these kind of toxic traits. I have these kind of weaknesses. I have this kind of bad, or rather, I have this kind of bad culture to unlearn. But also, you need to also acknowledge all the good things about yourself. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. You need to acknowledge that. You know, you need to acknowledge I'm beautiful. You need to acknowledge that I have these talents. You need to acknowledge because I'm a good-hearted person. I'm a peaceful person. You need to acknowledge those things. You need to affirm yourself with those things so that you don't lose touch of who you really are. Because I believe that all the negative things are caused by certain traumas, by certain things that happen to us at an earlier stage in our lives. You know? But still, you need to acknowledge all of these things combined, the bad, the good, everything. Just acknowledge them, which is corner. Because when you start acknowledging all of these things, then we move on to the next part, which is forgiving. Forgiveness. You see, with me, forgiveness was very hard to fathom, because I used to ask myself, it's fine, I'm gonna forgive this person. What if he goes and does the same thing to the next person? How is then my forgiveness effective? And then I realized that forgiveness is for me. Forgiveness is for me. No matter who wronged me, how they wronged me, I will forgive them so that I can be able to forgive myself. Most of the time when we are hurt by others, we blame ourselves. You ask yourself, that is why we find it so hard to get out of abusive relationships. And when I say abusive relationships, I mean all types of relationships. It can be physical abuse, it can be emotional abuse, but it's so hard to get out of them because you are always overcompensating. You always overcompensating, Goba. You think there's something wrong with you. And that is where self-love comes in, especially with forgiveness. You forgive and then you leave. You forgive and then you leave. There are some relationships that you have with yourself that you need to forgive and leave. There's some relationships that are not healthy, that relationships that you have directly with yourself. And you know very well, Uguti, this thing that I'm doing here, it's gonna hurt me. Sometimes it's not intentional. No one wakes up and they hurt themselves intentionally. Like I said, it is because of certain traumas and certain things that we've been through that you end up hurting yourself. But you need to start asking yourself, Uguti, is it what like is it gonna, how is it gonna benefit me? Is it gonna cause me to hate myself? Is it gonna cause me to love myself? You need to ask yourself those things. And you cannot ask yourself such things if you're not aware of yourself. If you haven't unlearned certain things, if you haven't acknowledged certain things about yourself, if you haven't been intentional about taking a journey of self-love. And it is very important as a person to forgive. Forgiveness is fundamental. It is imperative. I am emphasizing this because forgiveness is important. Guys, Zitandwa, forgive. Forgive yourself for all the hurt you think you've put yourself through. Forgive yourself for every kind of wrong decision you've made that has landed you into a place of darkness. Forgive those who have hurt you. Forgive those who haven't forgiven you. Because sometimes we wrong people and they don't forgive us. And that causes us to hate ourselves sometimes. Even though it's not intentional. No, I once did this to this person and they've never came back to me. They've never forgiven me. You need to forgive yourself for that. You need to forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for hurting others, for hurting yourself, and for those who have hurt you. And in that way, your state of mind is going to be in another level. The way that you perceive yourself is going to be beautiful. It's going to be gold. It's going to be royalty. The way that you perceive yourself, you're not going to see yourself as a person who's unworthy. You're not going to see yourself as a person who doesn't deserve love, who doesn't deserve forgiveness. Because you have chosen forgiveness. And that's the most beautiful part of self-love. This is my favorite part. Forgiveness. I am one person who forgives themselves. I would make a bad decision. That's why it's so easy for me now to take risks and to risk it all for all the things that I want and things that I love. I was talking to someone the other day and I was telling them, Ogutimina, I don't care how people perceive me anymore. As long as I love the way that I perceive myself, and as long as it doesn't interfere with somebody else's life, and it doesn't hurt anyone in the process. But Mina, personally, I really don't care how people perceive me. Because that gives me confidence to do whatever I want with my life. I told them, Uguti, I have one life to live. This life that was given to me. That is why I choose to love myself. That is why I choose to be aware of myself, to unlearn things that are not good for me, to acknowledge things that are good and bad about me, and also to forgive. I forgive myself every day for every bad decision I take. I will forgive myself. That's how much I love forgiveness, and I take forgiveness seriously. I will forgive myself. And then I'm saying 11. And then I forgive myself. Then tomorrow I will set an alarm for 7 o'clock. And that is how I learn how to better myself. I forgive myself, and then I set the bar high for myself. I just set it high, just skyrocket high. So it is very important. Forgiveness is very important. It's very important to forgive. And then the last part, main point, self-worth. Oh, you see, once you have been aware of who you are, you have unlearned things that you need to unlearn about yourself, things that don't serve you anymore, and you acknowledge things that serve you and things that don't serve you, and then you forgive, then you come down to this beautiful last but not least point, self-worth. Once you have gone through all of these stages, you reach self-worth. Oh, it is the most beautiful thing about life. It is realizing your worth. Once as a person you say, Mina, I'm worth this. I'm a queen, I'm a king, I'm a royal. Then no one can tell you, no. I'll say, no, you're nothing. You're like, how? Since when? Who are you to decide for me that I am nothing? So this helps in terms of confidence, of self-esteem, because you have accepted yourself first. You have accepted who you are. You have accepted everything about yourself. And you're at that place where you know that you're worthy. That Lebohang in grade 4 and this Lebohang in tertiary, two different people. I was so timid in primary. Everyone who went to primary will tell you that I was very timid. And then in high school, grade 8, grade 9, I was kind of between of finding myself and who I was. Then grade 10, grade 11, I kind of grasped the idea of who I am. And I did all of these things, you know. I became self-aware. You know, it was a journey. I became self-aware. I was unlearning this, which, no, this is not for me. Definitely not. I was like, no, I need to stop this because this is hurting other people and it is hurting me. I acknowledged, no, you were smart, baby girl. You need to grind on those books. You know, I acknowledged that I have a good heart, so I'm going to stand up for women, you know. And then I forgave myself for each and everything that I've put myself through that has been bad for me. And I forgave myself for all the people who hurt me in the process. I forgave myself for all the people that I have wronged and they haven't forgiven me. And then I reached a stage of self-worth. I reached a stage where now this Lebohang, she's a goddess. She's a goddess. She knows what she wants. And she understands her worth. She understands Uguti. She doesn't settle. Yeah, she doesn't settle for anything but what is best for her. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really hope that these 5 points are also gonna help you to figure out where are you in this journey, you know. And also, as much as I've kind of went through all of these 5 points, I'm still gonna start a new journey of going through them because I am growing up each and every day. But once you go through them once and you are intentional about self-love, then you will see a huge difference. I really hope that this video helps you to discover who you are, to finally have that audacity to love yourself, to finally have that courage to go for what you want. I really, really hope that it will help you. And please don't forget to like this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Please do subscribe. And just hit that notification button to join the notification squad. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Mwah.